What's up, everybody? This is Drew, and I want to welcome you back to Learn How to See Better. It's the only podcast out there that'll improve your vision the longer you listen. And today I want to talk about big aspirations. I mean, big ones, like reaching for the stars. And at the time of this recording, there are the Olympics going on. So I'm getting the opportunity to observe some of the finest athletes from all around the world, all shapes and sizes, all sorts of performances. And it's impressive. It's fascinating. It's amazing. And to think that, everyone out there is in their own way reaching for the stars. And so you may be saying, I've never competed in the Olympics. I maybe don't even have an interest in sports. What's this got to do with me? Well, I think to some degree we all have aspirations in us. And in some way, we're all kind of reaching for the stars. And so in my mind, one way that I'm learning how to see better that I want to share with you is how I'm looking at this leisurely activity of just watching the Olympics from the sidelines can be something that actually helps me see things through a different lens. And how can we apply what we observe in the Olympians competition to our own lives as it has to do with aspirations? How are we actually aspiring to reach towards the stars? What sort of gold medal game plan do we have for our own lives, right? And so as I started to observe this from a different perspective, because my little ones are getting into sports now, they have a whole lot more interest in the different level of competition and just the amazing way that human beings can move their bodies with speed and agility and strength and stamina, all of it. It's amazing to watch. So some of these sports they're seeing for the first time through new eyes and wonder how come they do this way and why do people swim that way and this motion looks funny and that seems different. I don't understand why. And through watching, they could get to observe. But separate from the particular event of how high you had to jump or how far you had to throw something or run a certain speed, there was the one common theme, the aspiration, the drive behind all the athletes. And it's crazy when you think, okay, well, what's the common theme that everybody had? Is it just desire? Well, it goes beyond that, because you could have pure desire, but not be willing to go do what it takes to actually get it. Like you don't have a white hot desire. And then even if you have a white hot desire, it's like, does that white hot desire last long enough to get through all the different seasons? Do you have the reasons to last through all the different seasons? And that's where you realize there's kind of three pieces that I saw come out of this that led to these amazing performances. And the three things they all start with the letter P. Number one, I saw passion. Everybody out there was passionate, and nobody really out there kind of as a job. There's a whole lot of heart in all of these competitive athletes and their spirit. So the passion was definitely there. And then what I noticed was the persistence. You could see it in their performance, the preparation, the way that they would go through their practice moves. You could see how prepared they were. Oh, I'm going to do a backflip just to warm up, or whatever the case may be for the performance. You say, wow, they've been doing this, and they've been just getting after it and putting in the hours and the time. Whatever the stat is, about 10,000 hours to become an expert. I'm sure they all have this knocked over many times over. And last but not least is thinking about the patience element. You're talking about the Olympics and some of the best in the world, and you think about the 4-year time span between these events, and there's a whole lot of patience that has to come with the persistence and the passion, so that you really got the stamina to last. And when you think about some of the greats that have been to multiple Olympics, got the gold in this one, 4 years later got the gold again, 4 years later got the gold again. That is like, wow, you're not exactly young anymore after 12 years. And so just thinking about that is really amazing. And I think some of these individuals would probably agree with the idea that they got a little bit more drive than the average bear. But we've all had an experience at some point where we wanted something really bad and felt like we'd be willing to do anything to get it. And it was funny because I was even thinking about in our lives as we aspire towards whatever it is. Maybe it's a health goal, maybe it's a money goal, who knows, maybe you want to have a big social media following. Regardless of the aspiration, there does have to be the passion. If you want to be a professional athlete or professional actor or anyone famous, you're going to have a passion to go do things that most people won't do, to really perfect your craft. So you do have to be persistent. And then there is that whole, can you get discovered, or how do you put yourself out there to make that discovery happen? And so those elements are really there for all of us that are reaching for the stars. And to give some consideration to that, I think is important, because there are a lot of people out there that have high passion, but maybe won't be persistent enough. They won't persist. They won't keep after it. They won't have that stick-to-itiveness to tackle it. And even if they're doing that part, how long can they last? Do they stop 3 feet from gold? And it's a question for all of us to ask ourselves. I ask myself sometimes that same thing. How close are you to whatever this next thing is? Do you got the patience to see it through? Or was it just one of those half-baked desires, right? And so when watching and observing these athletes, you can see that they're sold out. They're all in. There's no turning back. They burnt the boats, and just thinking about some of the adversity, there's not only what they had to do to prepare, but then for many, traveling halfway around the world, a place they've never been before. You're in a different time zone. Your food schedule's off. Your sleep schedule's off, and the culmination of everything just needing to be so perfect on that one day. A little bit of indigestion, it's not in the cards. Bad night of sleep, too bad. Calm those nerves. Everything has to be perfect in this one instance. And so imagining, what that's like, and all that preparation culminating to a single moment, a single, set of events that can really make or break the whole experience. Some people go from a no name to a household name, and that's gold, silver, bronze, or no medal. Some people go from who they might feel like they're just a nobody zero to all of a sudden they're the hometown hero. That overnight success, of course, right? But we all know now there was passion, there was persistence, and there was patience involved in them being able to get to that pinnacle of performance. So thinking about that, we can apply that. If you tuning into this and there's still some events left to watch, check a couple out that might seem of interest to you. Even if you don't know who the competitors are, take a look in their eyes when you watch those close-ups as they all get down on your mark, get set, and they're waiting for the gun to sound. And so just thinking about that, if you are a goal setter, a goal getter, an achiever of sorts, you might be able to learn a little bit from the Olympics and look at it in a different viewpoint. Yes, it's entertaining. Don't want to take anything away from the athletes. Yes, it's fascinating. Yes, it's inspiring. But they're humans like we're humans. And the idea that we can use that and channel in to tap into our own greatness, that's essentially what they're demonstrating. The great, and reminding us of greatness is within us. So here's that audible version. Greatness is within you. Go get it and let it out. So find something you're passionate about, and that can be a starting point. So you can test yourself and maybe experiment with how you might be able to persist with the activity. And with enough patience, the formula comes together. Add that time, and guess what? It'll be your moment to shine. So that's kind of my words of motivation, so to speak, in this season where it's the dog days of summer. Everyone's just trying to get through. For some, it's back to school, getting ready to change gears. It's the transition back to the school year, back to a whole nother routine and structure. But looking at things and taking that time out, taking that pause to just look at the environment all around us at all times. Our environment is there to teach us. So as you learn how to see better, make a solid observation of these events going on and look at a way that this can help launch you into, the closeout of the third quarter of this year, the closeout of the season that you might be in as you shift into the next season. Look at it from that standpoint. You'll be setting goals. You'll be having some of those aspirations coming back together or coming back into focus. And so one of the things you'll want to do is keep that in mind. Apply these principles of passion, persistence, patience, so that you can start to kickstart your goals, your momentum for the next season of life. Using something that you typically see as just a little bit of entertainment can now be leveraged as inspiration. So that's a little life hack, a little different perspective on things. So until next time, appreciate you listening in. Once again, it's your host, Drew Davis. Learn how to see better. It's the only podcast out there that'll improve your vision the longer you listen. Check you out on the next episode.